Hey Gordon.
Hi, Wes. All good?
Yeah, doing okay, thank you. How's
Brilliant.
things for you?
Really good. Looking to hopefully down tools soon for the festive period. And I just wanted to have one last big shout out to sort of everyone and sort of reflect, really, look back at what's happened in 2024, what the big hitters were, and more prevalent is New Year's resolutions. What's coming in 2025? What is there to be excited about? As the days start to get a bit longer, as of today, shortest day, we're going to start seeing more daylight, and how we can make the most of 2025 with all the exciting new presents and gifts that Microsoft are continuing to give across
Yeah,
the stack.
yeah, absolutely. I was talking to Cindy Batsley earlier this week. Actually, she heads up the GTM for Converged Comms, and yeah, we were just saying like how crazy it is the amount of technology that's coming out at the moment, and it can be even for like the partner, it can feel really kind of daunting. So let alone what the customer must be thinking that are already right in the middle of a whole bunch of different rollouts of things to see all this new technology just this year. So yeah, yeah, the pace of change has never been more bigger. If yeah,
No, exactly. And I think that the hats off for 2024 and the best luck to 2025 for those go-to-market managers at Microsoft, because I do not envy their continual learning and continual pace, like you say. So, like you say, Cindy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Look forward to next year on the exciting things coming up. Converged Comms. You've got your likes of Nick Chapman and Gareth Bleasdale leading the charge really around Teams Premium and meeting rooms,
yeah,
especially with all the exciting stuff to come out of places in the new year. So
yeah. And is that
looking
is that big? Is that big for you in 2025?
2025, I think it's all about building on 2024. So looking at places and Teams Premium and where it sits in the market and how that is going to affect everything in 2025, I think really come down to the social and technical changes that we've seen in 2024. So for me, key takeaways of 2024, the introduction of Copilot, Teams Premium, from a technology standpoint, is massively changing the landscape in terms of the way we work, the way we interact. But in contradiction to that, what we're also seeing in 2024 is a huge sort of, I don't want to say revert, but a transition to, or a debate at the moment within organizations looking at, do we stick with remote working? Do we leverage hybrid working, which, in my opinion, hybrid is the winning sort of compromise. But there's so many more organizations look to return to the office, which is understandable. Real estate costs for office spaces. And I think that evolution of technology and change and changing the way we work has
Mm.
been a huge indicator. And then 2025 is now going to be about applying all of these new technologies and the way we work with the new way of working.
Mm.
I mean, people you're speaking to, do you think it is still predominantly remote working in 2025? Or do you agree there's potentially going to be that shift?
Yeah, I'm not. I think it really depends on the employees, doesn't it? What their desires and wants are, and I think as two of the key words of 24, I think has been Copilot and return to office. And it's that, like you say, that big debate of do we, don't we, do you want to, like, and I think that's maybe it. Do you want to? And I think there'll be a whole load of people that yes, they do want to, but only like a little bit of the time, but not all of the time. That people want to make those connections. So I really don't think anyone has a real plan there, and it always comes down to individual wants and needs. And yeah, I think, and I think this is the challenge for organizations like those the facilities managers, and obviously the business owners. How much money are you spending on your facilities and everything, your building and all of that. And that has been a question since the COVID times, and will continue on. But I feel like with places, that is just going to change um, how organizations can really make those decisions.
100%. I think as well, it's one of those reimagining the office space. So we talk
Yeah.
about, workforce management in terms of, all these HR systems integrating into your Active Directory or Entra now, and looking at how we can, in a single identity as an employee, manage that person's workload in terms of Viva, the hours they're working, but then also their workplace when it comes to Teams Premium and the Places feature specifically. So what we're seeing is this trend of, hopefully it won't 100% go back to office working. What we're seeing is more of a transition to a hybrid 1 to 2 days of the week in the office. And this is making people reimagine that workplace. So we're seeing lots of organizations looking at, it's no longer a meeting room, it's a collaboration space. So we're looking at all the features and functionalities that are coming out of Microsoft in terms of meeting spaces, meeting rooms, intelligent speaker to be able to identify the people in the rooms. That is also leading to a transition of potentially having more collaboration spaces opposed to the traditional rows and rows of desks.
Yeah.
But there's still a requirement for desk work when you're in the office. You can't spend all day in the meeting room. And there are people out there who are guilty of that, who do go sit in the boardroom as an individual, occupy that space all day, and that's not the best use of that time. So where I think Places is going to make a huge difference is there's been desk booking and meeting room booking softwares out there. Some of them are really, really good at looking at integration into Exchange and booking out the meeting rooms, putting in buffer times. But what Places will do is hopefully give you that level overarching view from an administration perspective of people's actual work hours and work locations. And it's not Big Brother, it's you're either remote, you don't have to put your home address in, or I'm working in Costa, but it's more about managing the spaces that you've got. So people now will be able to book desks, book meeting rooms, and book the right meeting room for the right meeting. So utilizing AI with Copilot. So the great thing about Copilot is going to come is the layers of which you can apply Copilot to more and more of the Microsoft technology. If I try and book a boardroom out for a 10-person boardroom and there's 2 of us, Copilot might suggest a smaller room that would be better use for my style meeting. And also, if you've got a 10-person meeting, just because you've got 10 people in the meeting, some of them will be hybrid, some of them will be in person. So now you can obviously select whether you're attending in person or if you're joining remotely. And it might say, right, it's a 10-person meeting, but only 3 people in person. We suggest this other meeting room. So it just means better use of space within the office. It means that the administration and facilities, as you say, business owners can sort of get a better understanding of what the usage of their space is. Is there a higher demand for larger meeting rooms, smaller meeting rooms, or the more popular these days, I call them Doctor Who TARDISes, but the little meeting room boxes that we all have to jump in for that slightly more confidential meeting. And I think all of that, being able to synchronize that with your Outlook and your Exchange so that it pulls through that I'm booked here, I've got my desk, I've got my car parking spot. So obviously within Places, you can build out your office space. You can obviously replicate that and have it for booking a desk, booking a meeting room, or whatever the space you need to book is. Within Places, you'll be able to manage and understand your movement of your staff. And it's not down to an individual. I think there's always that fear of Big Brother when it comes to these things. Just like Viva, you don't book that specific desk, although I believe that is coming. Currently, if you're booking like a pod. So I want to sit near Wes is on pod 4, I will sit on pod 4 as well. And it just means that everything is integrating into your M365. And I think the good thing about Places as well, being part of Teams Premium, is Teams is continuing to be that window to the wider world of Microsoft. So you live and breathe in Teams. I think that's going to change.
And you mentioned like the wider world, right? One of the things that I'm really looking forward to in 2025 is the interpreter agent. Have you seen this yet? Yeah. And so the interpreter agent, you can switch on the translation. So we've got already the live translation that translates into text. The interpreter agent takes it that one step further, where if I flip my language, or if you flip language to French, you would hear me speaking in French, but in my own voice and tone. That's nuts. That's taking it from, science fiction to science non-fiction. It's like, it really is like cutting edge.
Yeah, and I think that's going to really help bridge the gaps in opportunity in terms of, there's pros and cons to it, but there are organizations out there who potentially things get lost in translation. And even, in England, I'll hold our hands up, we are terrible. We speak English very well, but our, even our close neighbors are I mean, even our Welsh, same country, we are terrible at learning second languages.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to the emphasis has always been on the customer to speak our language, and having a situation where they can speak confidently in their native tongue is going to hopefully break down barriers and hopefully leverage stronger bonds and relationships with people on a virtual scale. And obviously the announcement that I think is it up to 10 languages simultaneously with Teams Premium within a meeting.
I can't remember the exact number, but
I think currently you can obviously up to 2 languages, 1 transcription, 1 translation. With Teams Premium, there's going to be multiple. So both externally speaking and engaging with customers, but also from an internal perspective for those large multinational organizations, having a situation where they can have a company all hands and have it, the CEO and MD speaking in their native tongue and being comprehensively understood globally live, I think will be a huge thing. And I think, while, sorry, Microsoft, I know 2025 is still going to be the year of Copilot. I do believe as well that it's going to be the year of Teams Premium. The value add that license adds, current price point is $6-7 US dollars.
Going up in January to 10.
Okay, even still with that, the amount of features, more incentive to lock into your NCE agreement in the next 10 days to make sure you retain the current pricing. So the value they're putting in there, you've got the ever-evolving Queues app, so management of telephony in there. You're looking at your intelligent speaker, meeting recap that you've got already natively built in. And I think more and more people are looking to leverage, custom backgrounds, custom lobbies, looking at the security and compliance element. So obviously, the scary thing is about as technology evolves, so do the threats. Yeah. And the ever-evolving technology that's coming out of Microsoft from the security standpoint, looking at that end-to-end encrypted meetings and looking at leveraging all governance and compliance that's built within M365, Defender Suite. You can obviously leverage all of those security features and make sure that you're staying, as Microsoft are, constantly evolving to stay ahead of all of those threats. And therefore, Microsoft worries, so you don't have to.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great summary and an overview, and I guess it's just final thing to say for the channel for this year is well, it's brand new. It's only a few months old still, but thanks to everyone that's following already, and we'll continue our content into the new year. And on that note, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
100%. Big shout out, Merry Christmas to all of our followers, all of our subscribers, and everyone at Microsoft for your continued work and support in bringing us all this technology.
Awesome. Have a good one, Gordon.
And you, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.